What's up, runners? It is currently Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. I originally tried to record this at 8 a.m. and then it didn't record, so here we are at 9:30. And we have our first marathon update to talk about. This seems to be our regularly scheduled update day going forward, so we're going to be doing Wednesday mornings. And we have update 1.0.0.4 that came out earlier this morning. It is live now. I did see the download on Steam, so it should also be up on PlayStation and Xbox at this time. We're going to go over the patch notes, and we have a quick tweet to look at as well. But diving into the patch notes, we're starting off with the item economy. They increased the number of medical cabinets and munition crates that spawn on perimeter. So med cabinets should be giving you more green and blue meds in the middle of your run, and the munition crates should be giving you more ammo and grenades, I believe, on perimeter. So you should be seeing more of those in your runs to further fuel your runs instead of having to go buy them or bring them in. Or if you're going in on free kits, you can at least get a couple of items. They also increased the amount of starting ammo in the Mida, Syak, and Arachne sponsored kits. I didn't really have much of an ammo issue with the sponsored kits, but I know a lot of people did. So do chime in if this is a notable amount for you. And then they reduced the frequency of EMP grenades dropping from UESC Grenadiers. And I didn't really use EMP grenades that much. I did see them quite often, and I thought it was just kind of weird that they were so common. But I considered since they're non-lethal, they probably aren't that stingy on handing them out. But apparently they just did not mean for them to drop so many EMP grenades. If they dropped grenades of other types instead, I think that would be a pretty nice compromise, because grenades are a bit harder to find. So if you're able to farm grenadiers for them, that'd be pretty cool. Going into combat, they fixed an issue where players were sometimes instantly dying in confinement events. Not entirely sure what the confinement event is. I don't think I've ever seen someone just instantly die from it. So if that is something that you've experienced, that should be gone now. They also fixed an issue where shield break screen effects would constantly play if you had a heal overtime effect at the same time as a damage overtime effect. Awful bug to have. Sounds awful. So that is now fixed. It should no longer constantly play the animation. And then they also increased the range of gunfire and explosions and how far they can be heard, which is pretty good. I think sounds like very, very important for your situational awareness during a match. And in current, it seemed like you could hear maybe halfway to the next compound over. If they were able to increase this to the next zone, that would be pretty, pretty good. The farther you can hear, the better, I think. Now, for weapons, we do have a thermal scope nerf with reduced visual clarity on targets with the thermal scopes, and then they adjusted the max distance for thermal sights for each weapon type individually. So you'll see pistols are down from 55 meters to 40 meters. Rifles, LMGs, and SMGs are down from 65 to 60 with the smallest nerf. Precision rifles, being things like the hardline, the twin tap, the repeater, the lookout, are down from 100 meters to 80 meters, which is a pretty big chunk. And then snipers are down from 180 to 100 meters. And I think that's a really big jump down, but they were really, really strong. Thermals are pretty good for most players. I think 100 meters is still very fair for a sniper. And if you don't want to deal with the range limit, you can take it off in the middle of the game. You don't have to have it on the entire time. Now, the overrun was an underperformer, in my opinion. It's my least favorite gun in the game by far. They went ahead and increased the ammo capacity by 5, so it should go from 20 to 25, which I think is a bit more fair. I feel like this gun should have 30 in the mag. It's not that great. Doesn't kill super fast as far as, my testing with it. So I would like to see this go up to 30, but at least at a 25 with a regular green mag, you're going to get really close to 30 in the mag. So that is at least a starting point. For Rook, they fixed an issue where backpacks were being deleted when you exfilled, which should mean you get more backpacks on often. But on average, if you're going out with matter fixatives, you should be getting these consistently anyways. Or if you unlocked level 5 Syak where you can buy like 10 a day, backpacks aren't super uncommon at this point. They fixed an issue where Rook's position was not being displayed on the map screen, which was kind of annoying for orienting yourself. A ping would give you at least some indication of where you were, but being able to see yourself on the map gives you a better chance to find out where you are and where you should be looting much more quickly. They increased the Syak reputation gains from exfilling with Rook, which I didn't even know Rook got Syak rep for extracting, but apparently he does. So you'll get a bit more Syak rep. So early on, if you were trying to get to level 5, hit the backpacks, or some other unlock from Syak, at least you're going to be getting that a little bit faster with Rook. He also now has the same faction reputation bonus for exfilling that solo players receive, which should be 1.2x. And the Wasteum Shotgun that is available at rank 4 Arachne will now be spawned as compromised, so you'll need a matter fixative to fix it. Crazy that they were just handing out Waster Shotguns that weren't compromised at level 4, but they caught it pretty early. I don't know many people that got to rank 4, if any, at this point. So on the bright side, having the Waster Shotgun is a great way to go kill purples, and purples spawn these metafixatives almost guaranteed. So I think most rooks, once you have the Waster Shotgun, are going to be able to find a consistent way to keep the Waster Shotgun. But it adds a little more of a gameplay loop, right? You got to go find a purple to go kill. Now, for all UESC, they reduce the health of the vast majority of the enemies, and the shield HP of the UESC bosses specifically has been reduced by a small amount. The UESC bosses are a bit more of a trio thing than a solo thing, so the shield HP being reduced should mean that trios are having an easier time killing these bosses. Solos probably not going to see much of a difference unless you are hunting bosses a lot, in which case definitely sound off if you do. But the reduced health on most of the UESC enemies should help both solos and trios, and the devs say they're doing this to try to relieve some of the burden on everybody's ammo and meds. So we're going to see how they do. They still deal the same amount of damage, they're still very dangerous, but they should be faster to kill, which should be safer for you. Now, contracts, we have increased distance on the objective nav points from 10 to 20 meters. These are the little gold icons that will pop up when you are near an objective. They double the distance, which, since this is radius based, it's actually much farther than it would seem, but 20 meters is a very good distance, I think. 10 was fine if you had a general idea of where you were going, but 20 should make it much faster if you're actually like scouring the entire location up and down. You'll find this much sooner. So that's just great for questing in general. Introducing the new Cal contract. They fixed an issue where other teams were hearing the audio dialogue for this, which is just kind of weird. That should be fixed. And then the Traxxas contract, which had you defeating a UESC commander that you spawned after picking up a like data log and then scanning a container to have the container taken away. The commander that spawns from that should be easier to kill, which is fine. I didn't really have much of an issue killing that thing in trios, but in solos, I'm sure that could have been a pretty big ask. So making it less difficult is probably better because it's an intro quest. Not really meant to be that hard. It's just to get you going. Now, on Outpost, they did disable the switches on the Broken Wing entrance to the Outpost pinwheel. They said they want to make it a bit less of a free entrance. They're making some tweaks to better maintain the spirit of the silent entrance, but matching the risk-reward of the pinwheel. So there are other ways into the pinwheel, obviously, that you can go and take, but the Broken Wing is currently disabled. The rewards pass and the store, we're going to talk a little bit more in a bit here, but they did fix an issue where silk balances were not updating until you restarted the game. They fixed an issue where the bundle prices were not displayed correctly. They fixed an issue where the bundle prices were not displayed correctly. And they fixed an issue where the cosmetic items were saying they were savings, but they were full price. Okay. Weird bug to have. But they are going to go ahead and address that. And then deluxe was increased from 1,100 to 1,120. Fine, I guess. 20 bucks. Stability issues, they fixed some issues that were causing dedicated server crashes and several issues causing client crashes. Who knows what those are? And then generally, they had an issue where doors were locking that were stopping players from finishing the intro quest. So that was an issue you faced in the intro quest. Should be fixed. The perimeter beginner has an updated description. The text chat window should no longer get stuck open. They fixed a crash that sometimes occurred when attempting to use an IME keyboard. I don't even know what an IME keyboard is, but if you were doing that, there's a couple of fixes. There are some things they may have to update still. So if you're using an IME keyboard, be prepared for some compatibility issues. But you should no longer also see a extended black screen when loading into the map. I thought that was fine. Like, I know people like the loading screen instead or something like that. They didn't know what was going on. But I was pretty used to the black loading screen. It was whatever. So that is the full patch notes for today. But jumping off of the reward pass update here, we have a tweet about the reward pass as well. The devs say that they want you to get great value out of the game, whether that's the game, the deluxe edition, the rewards pass, or the in-game store. They've heard our feedback on the reward pass, so this season they're making a couple of improvements. First, they are adding 3 new runner shells to the premium track, Thief, Assassin, and Destroyer, and 1 to the free track in Recon. They're also adding a Waster Shotgun style and a profile emblem to the free track, and these should be coming in mid-April. Similarly, the Arachne entire faction should be getting new shells to go with their free kits. For everybody who has been playing, sponsor kits when you get out with them give you a skin for the shell that you were playing. Arachne was the only one who did not have any of those, so they will be getting their skins in the mid-April update. And then the Lux change is the same. The 999 or regional equivalent is now 1120, up from 1100, and anybody who bought that's going to get 20 added on to their balance, I guess. So these are just, mid-season 1 updates. It's going to be the same pass that we're on now. It's not season 2 or anything like that. But we have a preview of both Recon, the Waster, the Emblem, and then we have Thief, Assassin, and Destroyer, all in that monochromatic black and white look that the rest of the skins are on the premium track. And then we have a look at the Arachne style shell, which is black, red, and white, which looks like it'll be pretty good for my Thief skin, especially since I'm going around killing people for Arachne and finishing all you other runners. We also want to make sure that they take a moment to say thank you. From the start, their goal with Marathon has been a real partnership with the community, and the respectful, candid feedback that everyone has been sharing has already made a difference. When we take the time to be thoughtful and constructive, it helps them move faster, make better calls, and they're committed to acting on it as quickly as they can. So thank you for showing up the way that you have. Keep telling them what you love, what you missed a mark on, and keep the community keep being the kind of community that they like. In the meantime, keep doing what Tau City demands, be ruthless out there, and never stop debating what a Rook's life is really worth. Is Rook's life worth all the greens in your bag? It sure isn't. Get rid of that Rook. So that is it for today. A bunch of updates to the season pass, a bit on the April update for the season pass. Not a lot of previews here. Most of the stuff they're addressing now, obviously, we're going to have to wait for them to re-enable the outpost entrance for the Broken Wing. For everybody else, taking the regular keycard rooms is still the same. And everyone who is going in and fighting UESC, keep tabs kind of on the health of the enemies, how easy they are to kill, and drop a comment down below once you get to play, and let us know how that's feeling for you in solos and in trios. I would love to know all of that. So thank you all very much for joining me today. I will see you all again very, very soon.